something simple but impactful that the community can do to help your organization's efforts in 2021?
So I'm Lola Jones. I'm the Executive Director of Samaritan House Family Shelter, and I'm one of the facilitators of the Affordable Housing Partners group. I think from the perspective of my organization, it would be great if people could participate in any one of our fundraisers. I know that you're going to be hearing a lot about kind of the changing landscape of fundraising from our nonprofits in Lincoln County, and we are trying our very best to kind of create opportunities for people to participate in our fundraising, you know, at various levels of engagement. So whether that's, you know, attending a dine out takeout for Samaritan House, or, you know, our tea that's coming up in April, just participate in a fundraiser in a way that you can. And I think from the affordable housing perspective, I'll answer that question too. I would just really challenge the citizens of Lincoln County to examine and unpack your thoughts and beliefs about housing and housing density. I think we have a great challenge in our perception that single family homes, you know, are the utmost solution to housing. And I guess I would just challenge people to unpack some of the beliefs and assumptions that they have about that, and really give an opportunity to think about high density or multifamily housing as a solution that we can all embrace as a community.
Hi, I'm Lucinda Taylor, Executive Director of Habitat for Humanity of Lincoln County. The community could help by donating and shopping at the restores in Newport and Lincoln City to help us keep reusable items out of the landfill, and at the same time support affordable housing in our community. And then have to say, volunteer, volunteer, volunteer at the restores, in our office, on a committee, or on a build. We have a build coming up in Lincoln City where we're going to want a lot of volunteers. So if you have skills or no skills, consider helping us out.
Yeah, I am the pastor at the Presbyterian Church, and I think you'll hear a little bit more from us in a little while. But I think one of the simplest ways is just to continue to have communication, to continue to talk about the issues with all different types of organizations and peoples throughout the community. I mean, it's easy for us because we're the ones that show up to have the conversation. But what might it look like to talk to other organizations that it's not necessarily on their radar? And how do we further the conversation in ways and areas that are maybe not expected, but certainly applicable.
My name is Don Gray. I'm an elder at the First Presbyterian Church here in Newport. And I will, you know, just reinforce what everybody said so far. Donate, 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 volunteer, volunteer, volunteer. But I would comment that the city of Newport has shown exceptional support and flexibility in working with the Hope Rises Village concept. And we hope that they continue with the flexibility they've shown us and the support that they've shown us as other projects that are out of the mainstream come along.
Okay. Well, I have a couple of hats. So for Grace Winds Haven, it's the same. Donate cash, donate equipment for camping, and volunteer, volunteer, volunteer. Once again, we can use your help with clients and separate from clients. So yeah, come on over and volunteer. And my second hat is being Toledo City Councilor, and need to continue as cities to find ways to increase our affordable housing. Toledo has looked at the few pieces of property that we have. We have some, probably about total of maybe 6 acres, not much, but we're looking at multifamily housing on those. And so any help that cities and the county can give as far as their land and putting it into affordable housing, they should look at it. And they should also look at other ways to bring in more housing. Those are really, really important. And then the one other thing I want to add, even though I only get one, but we really need rehab, inpatient rehab facility.
Alison Robertson. I'm with City Economic Development and Urban Renewal. I work very closely with our planning department to try to further affordable workforce housing. I greatly appreciate this group. It is a grounding reminder of why I do the work I do. And I'm just so grateful to everyone who does everything they do and all the hats. I know Betty mentioned a lot of hats. I think we all wear a lot of hats. So I can't think of one thing except that political will. I am really appreciative of our elected officials and the efforts that they make to try to further betterment for everyone. So I can't think of a thing, but I've rambled enough. Thank you.
I'm Aimee Snyder. I am the Health Promotion Program Manager for Lincoln County Public Health. Often I come to this group and I am working on better housing as part of our community health improvement plan process, but also just kind of overlapping with our harm reduction program, which is often most affected by people who are unhoused or unstably housed. And the need for rehabilitation and other types of recovery services is so greatly needed.
Hi, I'm Dina Eldridge. I'm with Community Services Consortium. I'm the Housing Services Manager. Basically, everything that CSC does is aimed at helping people who are low income or living in poverty. But we all know, especially this group, that the basis of any sustainable existence beyond just living day to day is to have a home. So I would just ask that community members just think about what it would be like if something happened to them or their family and they couldn't have the home that they're in, and just try and think about those in your community who are without a home as if they were your relative or maybe your own son or daughter. What would you do to make sure that they could find a place of their own? And just think outside the box. Literally, a house doesn't have to be, a 3-bedroom, 2-bath ranch home. It certainly doesn't have to be a McMansion for people who only live in Newport maybe 2 months out of the year. So think about, tiny home villages, they're awesome. People on HGTV live in them, so why are they not good enough for people without a place to be? So just think about that. Support your elected officials. That you're so lucky in your county that there are so many elected officials who are sympathetic to this issue. So support them, support the idea of affordable housing for all, however you define that. And just remember that everybody deserves a place to call home.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Blair Bobier. I'm the Regional Director for the Lincoln County Office of Legal Aid Services of Oregon. We are a nonprofit law firm that provides free legal services in the civil realm to low-income and no-income folks in Lincoln County. I think the way people can help us is to give us ideas in part. We do our best to figure out what the low-income community needs, and that often happens by people knocking on our door and ringing our phones off the hook, but we'd like to hear more. We'd like to hear from community partners. We'd like to hear from people in the community about the challenges that low-income people face, whether that's housing or transportation or not being able to get mental health services or medical care, whatever it is. We'd like to hear from folks. Well, that's really what we need right now. And especially if folks think that there are segments of the community that are not well represented, and we would like to increase our efforts to reach parts of the community that are typically underrepresented, like the Latinx community, for example, or the disabled community or elders. Thank you.
I'm Sheila Baird, not Stiley. I'm with Samaritan Health Services over in Newport. I know Samaritan would like to be reactive to the needs of the community as best we can. So that communication, like help us prioritize where we put our funding, what programs need our support, or what we can do better. I know that we are really trying to focus on how to reach out to the Latinx community as well. You know, something that we need to develop better strategies around that. And I know that we do the community benefit funding or social accountability funding every year. And that's a really, that's one of the programs that we feel really strongly about helping support the priority areas in the community and making sure that money goes to the people who need it the most and who will be able to do the work that we're not able to do. So keep helping us define those priority areas, and if you need help with the application in the fall, let me know. And that is probably where we can get the most help from the community.
So I'm Megan Simpson, and this is Hannah Watson, and we are case managers with the Lincoln County Juvenile Department. I think something that we would want to share with the community is, or just have community members be knowledgeable about our homeless youth population that we have in our county. I think a lot of people like to recognize the adult population that we have, but are either unaware or don't really want to think of children being homeless. And so we have our youth shelter that is currently housing, I believe, 5 youth who are deemed homeless or under the jurisdiction of the juvenile department. And so we have that service to offer in our community. And I think it would just be really important for members to know that just because that, you know, we have youth in our shelter, they can still provide services as community and really group to help them.
I'm with Northwest Coastal Housing. We're the Community Development Corporation of Lincoln County and a nonprofit affordable housing developer at that. So we have, so a lot of our board members and myself have history in transitional housing. But it's been a minute for me, and we've stepped out of our wheelhouse a little bit. So for us, I think what's going to be really beneficial is agency contracts, MOUs. How do we communicate with each other to continue to meet the tailored needs of each individual and families, and what that looks like? And because we know it's going to be bumpy. And when it's bumpy and clunky, it really takes everybody coming together in a very succinct way in order to mitigate some of these underlying problems that, you know, one as a property owner might not be able to deal with when it comes to mental health, et cetera. I know Dina understands this all the way around what I'm talking about. So, and I'm so appreciative of our contracts that we all have already had in place, but it needs to expand, frankly. And we need to have a better referral process, MOU process, ROI process, all of those pieces succinctly around. So I think that's what the greatest thing that we can get out of 2021.
My name is Angie. I work for CSE. I'm a family advocate. I show up here to hear all the good stuff that is going on and who has what to offer and get some news. And I really appreciate this group. When you first said that, you know, I immediately, you know, what can we ask the community for? I mean, immediately I go to their continued grace, you know, have some grace with people, kindness. It's a little probably different this year. The volume is bigger. You know, maybe we may have to touch base with people more than one time and ask more questions that we probably already got answered. But so I feel like, you know, when you said that, that's just the first thing that came to my mind. And I feel like the community is, you know, has always been kind and, you know, trying to listen and be helpful. And I just am asking for that to continue.
Hi, everybody. I'm Katie Townsend. I'm with Lincoln County School District and the HELP program serving students and families with unstable housing, birth through 12th grade. You know, honestly, the biggest thing that comes to mind in regards to working with city or county entities is just seeing, I've worked with the district for the last 11 years. I've seen our numbers of students facing homelessness consistently grow over the years, as I've seen affordable housing decline and just not enough inventory. However, when Surfview Village came into town, we saw a lot of our Newport area families who had faced homelessness and unstable housing for a while now become stable. And so just how important it is for us to do things to attract development, to kind of just make it easier on developers. I think sometimes there can be a lot of red tape to jump through, and we should be inviting and almost begging developers to come and help support creating more inventory for our working families, for our low-income families, for, you know, just bringing more inventory. You look out and you see, I'm from this community, there's all this beautiful land that's there, and I know some is owned privately, some is owned by the county or the city, but there has to be more that we can do. And it's going to take working together, but that would be my plug.
I just really want to thank everyone for this opportunity to share what the community can do in 2021 to help these very important efforts. I love that this meeting is here and open. And I did have a few other announcements really quick before I leave. The Vision 2020 Community Awards winners, there are a few present here, so I did want to announce those. First, I'd like to announce Grace Wins Haven as a winner in the nonprofit for the community health and safety category. I did also want to announce we have Legal Aid Services winning for a nonprofit in the fostering collaboration and engagement area. I also wanted to announce our own Lola Jones, who won for Outstanding Individual in the Enhancing a Livable Region. And you are all technically winners as well, because the Affordable Housing Partnership, this collaborative effort also won an award, and these are all Voters' Choice Awards, community nominated. So I just really thank you for all the efforts you're doing in this really important category, and looking forward to staying in touch this year, and yeah, just continuing the great effort. So thank you, everyone.
All right. All right. I think we need a little round of applause for ourselves, because this is now the award-winning Affordable Housing Partners Group. Thank you. You know, when an actor or an actress wins the Academy Award, they're forever known as, you know, Academy Award-winning actress, da-da-da-da. So we are now the award-winning Affordable Housing Partners Group. Awesome, guys.